you more about him. Here's a little joke. Who's the best? C'est moi from Hamilton. Now, he was born very wealthy. His father died when he was 2 years old, and he died in the French and Indian War, and he was killed by the British. So Lafayette grew up hating the British, which makes sense since they killed his father. And when he was 12, his mother died and his grandfather died. So he was left all alone. And he inherited all this money because he was an only child. And there was an arranged marriage for him. So he got married when he was only 16 years old. So if you think that's young, his wife, Adrienne, was only 14 years old when she got married to Lafayette. And they didn't really know each other. But thankfully, they fell in love and they had a very, very happy marriage. And he had more money, but she was from a very, very prestigious noble family. So Lafayette moved in with her family and lived this incredibly extravagant lifestyle. So here is what Versailles looked like at the time, where Louis XVI was the king of France. And Lafayette was one of the courtiers. He was one of these guards there off on the side. And most people would be thrilled to have a life like that. But Lafayette did not enjoy it at all. He wanted action. He wanted excitement. His father was a soldier, and the family lore is that they had fought, his ancestors had fought in the Crusades, and they had fought in the Crusades, and I'm sorry, I am blanking here. The Crusades, and that they fought with Joan of Arc. So he had this noble heritage and really wanted to live up to it and live up to the example that his ancestors had set. So one night he was having dinner with King George III's brother, the King of England's brother, because he was from this high station where that was normal for him. And they were talking about what happened at Lexington and Concord in 1775. And that was the first Lafayette had heard of it. And he was totally enamored. And he said, here, thinking to himself, here's my big chance. And I can go over, I can be part of this revolution. And he fell in love with the idea of liberty. And he was just totally gung-ho on the idea. So he went to Louis XVI and said, hey, can I go over and join the Americans? And he said, in no uncertain terms, he said, absolutely no. And I'm sure he said it with a French accent and said it much, much nicer. But there's Lafayette, basically the richest young man in Europe. He's got all this money. So he had a boat built for himself, and he named it La Victoire, which is French for victory. And he ended up sneaking out of Paris, ended up going down to Spain to get onto this ship. He didn't tell his wife where he was going because he knew that the king would ask her and interrogate her. So he didn't want her to know anything, so she wouldn't feel torn about what to say. So meanwhile, he leaves her behind. And by the way, they have a baby. And by the way, she's actually pregnant again with a second child. So he leaves her behind and he dresses up in a costume, goes to Spain, gets on the ship under a different name and sails to America. He doesn't have any English skills whatsoever. He learns English along the way. He's totally seasick, and he arrives in Charleston, South Carolina. And he makes his way up to Philadelphia to meet George Washington. So here's his lovely wife, Adrienne, and here's his ship, La Victoire. So he makes his way all the way from South Carolina.